At noon, Sauk County officials continue to investigate after a hiker fell to his death at Devil's Lake State Park. Plus, recovery efforts continue on the island of Maui after devastating wildfires. The president and first lady announced when they'll visit the island. You're watching News 3 Now at noon. Good afternoon. I'm Mark Kane. Thanks for tuning in. Right now, Sauk County officials are investigating after a hiker fell to his death at Devil's Lake State Park. DNR officials said after two hikers got separated on the west bluff of Devil's Lake State Park yesterday afternoon, one called authorities to file a missing persons report. A second group of hikers later found the adult male and reported a possible fall. Crews found the person deceased just before 5.
It's dangerous when it's wet. The rocks are really slippery. If you're not paying attention, it's easy to fall. So I think it's just a matter of paying attention and taking your time and not rushing through the hike.
Officials say there is no threat to the public and the investigation is ongoing. A Lodi man is facing 4 counts of possessing child pornography. Officers arrested 45-year-old Michael Burmeister Friday. Authorities say they'd been investigating him for more than a year, and they seized multiple hard drives and electronic devices while serving a search warrant. In court yesterday, he was released on a $20,000 signature bond. His next court date is September 11th. Let's head to the Weather Center now. Meteorologist Greg Barnard has a look at our first warn forecast. Another fall-ish like day today.
Yeah, a little bit more August. We're going to have some changes here coming up, at least for the next 24 hours. We do have a front to the north. Overall, big picture shows pretty clear out for most of the U.S., really besides showers and thunderstorms to the southwest. But notice the one up to the north, and that's the one that we're going to be tracking. Overall, just a few clouds beginning to push in. But ahead of that, we're going to have some wind right now, but just a few serious clouds out there. A little bit of haze, too, with some smoke out there. But that is the front that will bring a chance for showers and thunderstorms late tonight, along with a little bit of a cool down for tomorrow. Otherwise, temperatures a little warmer right now. We got that southwest winds beginning to increase, so we're up to about 80 in Boscobel, 80 in La Crosse, mid-70s around Dane County, so that we'll have a trend a little bit 4 to 5 degrees warmer. Big picture shows temperatures overall pretty standard across the Midwest, and there's your winds. Right now, we're looking at about 10 to 15 with maybe some winds getting at 15 to 20 out of the southwest. So it will be breezy this afternoon and through this evening, and those winds will probably continue all the way through tonight. So overall, this afternoon and evening, a few clouds out there, but otherwise getting into the low 80s, kind of where we should be with that south wind picking up 15 to 20. There is a severe risk up to the north with that front. I do think the thunderstorms will decrease as they get down here. We'll kind of time those out when we get back, along with still some heat that is coming up this weekend into early next week. All that a bit later in the broadcast.
It is still August.
Still August yet.
All right, Greg, thank you. Hunters with disabilities can now register for the fall gun deer season. The hunt runs from October 7th through the 15th. Sponsors have made thousands of acres of land available this year. Hunters or assistants should contact sponsors directly to sign up. You need to register by September 15th. You can find more information on this story on channel3000.com. The death toll from the Hawaiian wildfires is now up to 106, with only about a third of the disaster area searched. Jessica Cardelai tells us the road to devastation into tells us that the road into devastated Lahaina is being reopened for survivors to return to see the devastation with their own eyes.
With flames engulfing houses all around him, Spud Spelnick jumped into the water to escape.
Swimming past Lahaina Yacht Club, and I'm swimming past Cheeseburger in Paradise, and it's just the towering inferno.
As the fire swept through Lahaina, he said there was no place safe to come ashore to, so he and others spent hours in the water before eventually being rescued.
There's families. This is a community that's sitting in the water. There's like 75 of us.
Officials have reopened the main access road to Lahaina to allow residents to return, at least temporarily, to survey the devastation firsthand.
The vastness of this, it's incredible, and this is what you're going to see everywhere.
News cameras followed FEMA teams on their search and recovery mission. Crews have covered only about a third of the disaster area so far. Many residents whose homes have been destroyed are unsure as to whether they will be able to rebuild. The governor is promising that he will stop anyone from coming from the outside and taking advantage of the situation.
I will stop predatory purchasing best I can. Legally, it's very difficult to stop outside buyers from buying anything, but I can make it very difficult for any transactions to occur.
He says he wants to ensure that the locals who have already lost so much aren't victimized again. Jessica Cartalia, CBS News, Maui.
And the White House announced that President Biden and First Lady Jill Biden will travel to Hawaii on Monday to survey the damage. In Georgia, where former President Trump was indicted earlier this week, his co-defendants are criticizing prosecutors who accuse them of racketeering to overturn the 2020 election results. Rudy Giuliani, who faces 13 counts for allegedly making false statements about the 2020 election, denies any wrongdoing, and he says he plans to surrender soon. On Tuesday, Trump's other co-defendant and former chief of staff, Mark Meadows, sought to move the criminal charges against him from Fulton County to federal court. Meadows was on the call with Georgia's Secretary of State, Brad Raffensperger, in January of 2021. We are hearing for the first time from North Korea after American soldier Travis King entered the country. Pyongyang claims that inhumane maltreatment and racism within the U.S. Army drove the Racine County native to cross the heavily fortified border last month, adding he's seeking refuge in the north or a third country. The Pentagon says it couldn't verify the comments that came from King. The 23-year-old spent 2 months in a South Korean jail on assault charges and was set to return to the U.S. for military proceedings. U.S. officials have said they believe King crossed the border intentionally and have declined to classify him as a prisoner of war, which would give him extra protections under the Geneva Convention. Well, 2 drunk Americans spent the night at the Eiffel Tower illegally. The Paris prosecutor's office says the men were discovered Monday morning by security. They were allegedly intoxicated and had fallen asleep after their Sunday tour. The operator of the tower is planning to press charges. Prosecutors say no damage was found. They dismissed the fine for trespassing on an historic or cultural site. Now, Alec Baldwin could face charges once again for the deadly shooting on the set of the film Rust. Variety reports that a forensics report found that Baldwin's revolver would only fire if the trigger was pulled. That forensics report was commissioned by special prosecutors. Baldwin has denied pulling the trigger on the gun that night, killing cinematographer Helena Hutchins. Investigative involuntary manslaughter charges were dismissed against him in April. However, the dismissal decision did not absolve Baldwin of culpability, and charges may be refiled. There's more to come on News 3 Now at noon. Why iPhone users can now breathe a sigh of relief, and who economists say helped boost U.S. retail sales last month. That's next in the Money Watch Report.
You're watching News 3 Now at noon.
Attention homeowners, we're looking for 50 homeowners who need a new bath or shower. We want to evaluate our custom bathing solutions in real homes for safety and convenience. Call Mad City Baths, Wisconsin's #1 remodeler and trusted local source for American-made baths and showers installed in as little as 1 day. And with our Price Lock Guarantee, we'll guarantee your price for 1 year. Now 50 homeowners will save. Receive free installation of a new bath or shower. 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 24 months. Senior and military discounts, plus call during this program and receive a free $50 Walmart gift card with your in-home estimate. From Madison throughout South Central Wisconsin, call with zip code and location to qualify, 608-729-4466. That's 608-729-4466.
Surgenian's 93-year history means you pay $93 for installation no matter how many rooms you carpet. Get carpet and pad in your old carpet removed and recycled. Our competitors can't match it. Ask about 18-month financing. Local, sustainable Surgenians.
Special report.
Spectrum brings us Spectrum One, where Spectrum Internet, advanced Wi-Fi, and unlimited mobile come together to keep you seamlessly connected wherever you are!
Switch to Spectrum One and get 300 megabit internet for $49.99 a month, plus free advanced Wi-Fi and 1 free line of unlimited mobile with no contract. Call 1-833-743-4999.
The Coopers here just got Spectrum One. Why did you switch?
With Spectrum One, we get a super fast, reliable connection. Look, with Spectrum Internet, I can stream Spectrum News across all our devices.
And the advanced Wi-Fi has enhanced security and privacy features that automatically block online threats, keeping our family and devices safe and secure.
How reliable is Spectrum Mobile?
It's a super reliable service coast to coast.
And it includes nationwide 5G.
Switch to Spectrum One and get 300 megabit internet for $49.99 a month. Plus free advanced Wi-Fi and one free line of unlimited mobile with the fastest wireless speeds. Call 1-833-743-4999 or visit a Spectrum store today.
Get 11% off your flooring project now at Menards. Start your renovations with Great Lakes vinyl plank flooring. It's durable, waterproof, and features an attached pad for added comfort and noise reduction. Heritage vinyl plank is $3.29 per square foot after rebate. You can also check out our great selection of Shaw carpet. Brilliant Splash carpet adds comfort and warmth to your floors. Right now, only 99 cents per square foot after 11% rebate.
Save big money at Menards.
U.S. retail sales jumped 0.7% in July compared to a year ago, according to the latest federal data. Economists say Amazon's Prime Day helped lift those numbers. Early back-to-school shopping likely drove the increase, along with an uptick in purchases at food and drinking places. This week, more than 800,000 Americans with student loan debt will start to see their loans discharged through a one-time account adjustment. The Biden administration previously announced it would wipe out a combined $39 billion in federal student loan debt for borrowers who, quote, never got the credit they earned after more than 20 years in income-driven repayment plans. And iPhone users can breathe a sigh of relief as Apple has moved its End Call button back to the middle of the screen. Last week's beta version of Apple's iOS 17 operating system seemed to shift the button to the bottom right corner, but a newer beta version released yesterday returned it to the lower center of the screen. The system update is scheduled to be released to all users next month. That's your CBS News Money Watch report. For more, log on to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the CBS Broadcast Center, I'm Chanel Call.
Let's check Wall Street at the noon hour. The Dow Industrial's up 9 points. The NASDAQ is down 80. The S&P 500 down 12. Our call for action volunteers are in the building, taking your consumer complaints and taking action on your behalf. Volunteers are here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so you can call for action right now at 608-270-2833 or submit a claim anytime at channel3000.com/call-for-action. Target sales fell for the first time in 6 years. The retailer says it saw a 5% drop in sales at stores last quarter and a 10% drop online. Heading into today, Target stock dropped 27% over last year. The decline comes as consumers are pulling back on spending for home goods, clothing, and other discretionary purchases. Target also faced pushback from conservative groups over its annual Pride Month collection. The company says it won't back away from celebrating Pride Month next year, but will feature a more focused assortment of merchandise. When we come back, a look at today's egg prices, plus Greg's complete forecast. And then today on Live at 4, Consumer Reports has advice on choosing the right roadside assistance coverage. Not all are created equal.
FlexSteel is furniture that comforts, furniture for living, furniture with a heart of steel. Save big during our FlexSteel authorized sale, going on now at Waunakee Furniture, ETC.
1 in 3 adults have difficulty getting in and out of the bathtub. But with a new walk-in shower from Mad City Baths, you can easily step in and out. Plus, add stability with a safety seat and grab bars. Expertly installed in as little as 1 day.
As you get older, it gets harder to get in those regular standard tubs, you know, so this is really convenient for me too.
Call now. The first 50 homeowners who need a new bath or shower will receive special savings. Free installation of a new bath or shower, 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 24 months. Senior military discounts, plus call during this program and receive a free $50 Walmart gift card with your in-home estimate. From Madison throughout South Central Wisconsin, call with zip code and location to qualify, 608-729-4466. That's 608-729-4466.
I would have to hold my back as I got off the rug, but I didn't want to stop sitting on the floor because That's where I do most of my teaching. After I decided my pain was too much, I went to the doctor, and the doctor said it might be my feet. Suggested that I do visit the Good Feet store. After I went to the Good Feet store, I realized that you don't have to live in constant pain. They took my pain away.
Thanks to the Good Feet store.
FlexSteel is furniture that comforts, furniture for living, furniture with a heart of steel. Save big during our FlexSteel authorized sale, going on now at Wanakee Furniture ETC.
Holly Robinson Pete is in the J-HUD hot seat. Have you ever sent a sexy text to the wrong person?
My son and my husband have the same name, so he was like, Mom, why you send me pictures of your butt?
On the next Jennifer Hudson Show at 3.
School shooter fear has become all too common as kids get ready to go back to school.
Tomorrow, I'll share some expert advice to help you talk to your child.
And after some mild temperatures, the summer-like heat and humidity returns this weekend. Join us tomorrow between 4:30 and 7.
The Farm Report is sponsored by Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
Pam Yankee from the Midwest Farm Report is on her World Farm Tour. She'll be back in a couple of weeks, so here are your farm numbers. Well, schools in Louisville, Kentucky are closed until Friday after many students were left stranded last week when a new bus routing system failed. Officials say the situation made worse by a shortage of school bus drivers, a problem that we're also seeing in communities far beyond Kentucky. Adriana Diaz reports from Louisville.
This is how Latasha Gomez's kids are spending what should be their first full week of school, passing the time at their mom's nail salon.
So how frustrated are you?
I'm very frustrated. I feel like when I expressed it with someone over the phone in transportation, she kind of just blew me off.
A new bus route plan in Kentucky's Jefferson County, meant to make the bus system more efficient, backfired last week in part because its computer algorithms didn't factor in enough time between stops, causing massive delays and worry among parents.
He didn't get home till after 7 o'clock, and it was horrible because I had no clue where he was.
School Superintendent Marty Polio says the mess was driven in part by a bus driver shortage.
One of the greatest errors I think we had last week was not having effective communication with families, and we are correcting that.
It's not just Louisville. Chicago public schools say they only have half the drivers they need, and classes start next week. There have been delays up to an hour long in Knox County, Tennessee, and in New York City, there's a looming strike by school bus drivers.
Every city and every state in the country is suffering from this.
A top issue is pay. The average bus driver's salary last year was about $42,000, and that's only if a driver works full time. Many do not.
I do understand the shortage.
But you want them to do better?
I want them to do better because it's trickling down to the safety of our kids.
Parents like Latasha Gomez want schools to practice what they teach and come up with creative solutions. The school district says it will launch an app that will allow parents to track their kids' buses, which will be a relief to many. Adriana Diaz, CBS News, Louisville, Kentucky.
And transportation experts tell us the driver deficit has been a problem for years, but the pandemic made it even worse, with drivers retiring early or leaving the industry altogether. Temperatures warming up a bit today. Here's Greg with a complete look at the forecast.
Yeah, we got a couple more days of just really pleasant conditions, and then the heat and humidity does come back. We do have some storms tonight, like I mentioned earlier, that front coming through. The smoke is coming back behind that front, so I think tomorrow definitely going to be hazy, smoky skies once again with wildfire smoke. And then maybe thunderstorms next week, but there's a lot of uncertainty with regards to what goes on with the pattern next week. Like I said, 70 to 80s through Friday, we have warm, hot heat conditions through about the first part of the week, and then looks like beyond Wednesday we start cooling back down to where we should be. So it won't be a prolonged heat event. Right now, here's the front that should be coming through. The best chance for actually severe or stronger storms will be up to the north. It'll weaken as it comes through, but that should be through the morning hours. Once that passes, the winds will turn around the northwest. That'll bring in the smoke, but it'll also bring in the cooler temperatures. So we have that system, and there's really nothing else downstream as you see that ridge build up and push that storm track well into Canada. So that's what we're looking for that. Overall for today, like I said, we'll just have a few clouds coming overhead, but the winds will pick up, so those temperatures will get back up to the low to mid 80s today. As we go through the evening hour, you'll start seeing clouds increasing. The winds will continue. The first line of storms coming through for the northern viewers is probably where it could be a strong storm or two, mainly if it's a wind issue, if it does happen to get strong or severe. Once it gets down into our area, it'll be more weakened through the morning hours. So we'll keep an eye to see if we do have a stronger storm or two, but for right now, I think the notice thing will be just storms in the morning and pretty breezy or windy conditions overnight. Once that comes through, we'll clear out smoky and hazy conditions, but temperatures only getting back up into the mid-70s with some cloud cover developing in the afternoon and maybe a shower up to the north by tomorrow afternoon. You'll notice the temperatures tomorrow be about 10 degrees cooler than they were today in some areas. So overall, the winds today, definitely 15 to 20. They'll increase tonight, right when the front gets the closest. I think that's when we could get some 20 to 25 mile per hour winds, especially in the higher elevations, the ridge lines. Once that comes through, you'll see the wind shift to the northwest. They'll become breezy tomorrow, but just under the northwest direction. So once again, 15 to 20, maybe some gusts, even gusts higher than that. They'll probably start diminishing as we go into Thursday evening too. So some breezy, windy conditions. Overall, not a lot of precipitation with this is what it looked like right now. Maybe a quarter of an inch in some areas, even some areas further south in southwest Wisconsin toward the Illinois border, Dubuque area. May not see anything at all, just a wind shift. Most of the rain will stay to the north, so definitely nothing like we saw with the last system. The smoke is the bigger story probably. We'll see a little bit of haze today, but then really tomorrow afternoon is when a really big batch of smoke comes down. Could be surface-based smoke, maybe some visible issues. We'll see if air quality becomes an issue tomorrow too, but this will be pretty prevalent going to Thursday. May linger into Friday. We'll see if that takes place. Beyond the heat dome really is going to start building by Saturday, expand up to the north through the Sunday into Monday. Notice out to the southwest, this is going to be tropical storm, eventually Hurricane Hilary that's going to get close to the southwest U.S. Definitely will bring them a lot of rainfall in the southwest part of the U.S. We'll see this heat begin to expand Monday and Tuesday. But right now, it looks like once we get past Tuesday, it's going to start shrinking back to the south. You can see that northwest flow begin to pull. So I think temperatures then will begin to pull back a little bit. So there's still a little bit of uncertainty. I think the hottest conditions will stay to our south and southwest, but we will be above average and more higher dew points. Regarding precipitation chances, it's a little bit iffy and what we're going to see. Thunderstorms are not through this period, but I think by the time we get towards next week, you can see the end of the week, we start turning the winds. So the second half of next week will probably cool back down as some of that milder air comes back from the north. So that's kind of what we're looking at right now. Temperatures, kind of tricky going Sunday through Tuesday. Right now around 90, that could be upper 80s. It could be a little bit higher, just depends on how things plan out. The one thing you will notice through that period, the dew points will be high, so it will be muggy with all the rainfall, the vegetation that's green right now. Otherwise, we'll start cooling back down this later half of the next week, back to where we should be, which is around 80 degrees.
All right. Thank you, Greg. It's National Elvis Week, and Augusta, Maine was all shook up yesterday. Elvis impersonators from all over gathered in an attempt to break a Guinness World Record for the largest gathering of Elvis impersonators. It'll be some time before we find out if they beat the record. Those behind the event say they wanted to mark Elvis's one and only performance in Maine, which took place in 1977 at the Augusta Civic Center. Today is also the anniversary of Elvis's death. Up next, we'll see what Howard's working on in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
If you love Elvis, then you're not going to want to miss the very special guest that's joining us right here in the Test Kitchen today.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
The 70th annual Sun Prairie Sweet Corn Fest is August 16th through the 20th at Angel Park. 5 days of events, live music, and loads of fresh local corn. There's fun for the whole family. Book your stay in Sun Prairie and save with the Corn Fest discount.
Mad City Baths takes the hassle out of bathroom remodeling with high-quality American-made baths and showers back with a lifetime warranty. Choose from premium wall patterns including white travertine, Othello, and many more. And with our price lock guarantee, we'll guarantee your price for 1 year. And now 50 homeowners who need a new bath or shower will receive special savings. Free installation of a new bath or shower, 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 24 months. Senior military discounts, plus call Mad City Baths now. Last chance to call during this program and receive a free $50 Walmart gift card with your in-home estimate. From Madison throughout South Central Wisconsin, call with zip code and location to qualify, 608-729-4466. That's 608-729-4466.
There's nothing better than a great night's sleep on a new Beauty Rest mattress from Steinhoffels. Right now, save up to $900 on Beauty Rest adjustable base sets. Beauty Rest Queen mattresses start at only $299, and when you upgrade to a Beauty Rest Black, you'll get $300 in Steinhoffels cash and a $100 MasterCard rewards card. Beauty Rest Black Queen mattresses start at just $44 per month when you use Steinhoffels' special 72-month financing. Shop in-store or online at steinhoffels.com.
Fry Construction invites you to celebrate summer with our hot summer sale. We're talking about hot savings of 23%. Many of your neighbors already know how we strive to meet and exceed expectations with each and every project. That's why they voted us Best Roofer 3 years in a row. Experience the best of Madison for yourself with Fry Construction. Get on board for our hot summer sale. Save 23% off gutters or insulation with any full siding project. Schedule your consultation today at fryconstruction.com.
The Sun Prairie Sweet Corn Festival returns for its 70th year. Enjoy over 80 tons of mouth-watering sweet corn, rolled in butter and lightly salted, August 19th and the 20th. Visit sunprairiecornfest.com for the full schedule and hotel discounts.
It's hard to believe that it's been more than 40 years since Elvis left us. But fortunately, he left us with many great memories and songs to remember him by. And to pay tribute to him, I've invited my good friend Terry Buchwald to join us here in the Test Kitchen. He's devoted his entire career to keeping the music and legend of Elvis alive. Welcome, Terry.
Good to see you, Howard. Thank you. So glad to be here, especially on a day that many of us will never forget.
I've seen your shows, and when you're on stage, it's like watching Elvis throughout the years.
Thank you. That's my goal, to portray this legendary rock and roll artist through my performances.
And our goal is to keep Elvis's love for Southern food alive, like with the recipe we're making today.
Well, if it has peanut butter and bananas and bacon, Elvis would have loved it.
As a matter of fact, this all-in-one breakfast bake has all 3 of them.
1 forkful, and you'll be all sugar.
To get the recipe for our peanut butter and banana French toast bake, along with some information on where you can see Terry perform, all you have to do is visit our website. Terry, thank you for joining us and keeping the legend of Elvis alive. Would you mind singing a little something for us?
Sure. Are you lonesome? Oh, wait. Are you hungry tonight?
Ooh, it's so good.
All right, Greg, it's all yours.
I don't know. Windy with some storms tonight. We have some smoke coming probably tomorrow. Hazy skies, hot conditions Sunday through Tuesday. Looks like thereafter. We'll keep an eye on the severe threat, but right now it should remain to the north with storms coming. Otherwise, enjoy the temperatures right now because it's going to get back to August-like temps
all right,
pretty soon.
Back in the 90s. All right. Thank you, Greg. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you back here at 4 o'clock. In the meantime, have a great afternoon.